Now yesterday I told you about the left side, which is the power of desire, and through this power we have our all conditionings and all the receptions from the matter, materialistic things, and also what you can say, we collect all our past, and the past then extend up to the collective subconscious. I also told you yesterday that cancer is a disease caused by the left side extreme behavior of people. Those who go to the extreme behavior on the left side get the disease called cancer, and it can be cured if you can bring such an extreme case in the center. It can be cured, no doubt about it. Now the second side is the right side, which today I have told that I will tell you about. The gentleman is not here who asked so many questions. Is he here? He was just busy asking questions, that's all yesterday. He's not interested in speaking, I think. Alright. Now the second side, on the right hand side, is the power by which we act. First we desire and then we act. Now this power, right side power, is expressed within us as right sympathetic nervous system. Science has come from the same. Science is in the growth, these are all subtle things that are within us. Now this right side power, which exists within us, gives us the power for our mental and physical capacity to act. Now this action takes place when we desire something, we want to implement that desire, then we go into action. One has to understand what sort of a power is this. This power is called as Prana Shakti in Sanskrit, Prana. And the another one, the left one, as Mana Shakti, is the power of the emotions, or can say of the mind. But you see, English language is not so clear-cut about it. So I would say Mana Shakti and Prana Shakti. These are the two powers that exist within us, and we start using them as left and right, we can say like a brake and an accelerator, and then we become the master of driving. But while becoming that, we make mistakes. The human mind has a speciality to go to extremes. Supposing I tell somebody, now you have to meditate. They'll meditate for 5 hours. There is no need to meditate for 5 hours or anything. But if you tell them that you have to stand on your head, they'll do it for 10 hours. So there is no need to go to extremes. We have to be just in the center, be kind to our body, be kind to ourselves. There's nothing to be frantic about. There's nothing to be so much exasperated about it. It's just very simple thing that has to happen. For example, think of a seed which is sown in a very loud music, or say a place where everybody is rushing, shouting, screaming. What will happen? That seed will never sprout. If it is in a peaceful place, is a properly placed one, or not in a tilted pot, then it will definitely develop into a beautiful tree or a beautiful shrub, whatever it has to develop into. In the same way, if we are too much on the extremes, we go to the left and to the right. Now going to the left, I told you yesterday what happens, that all these things like hypnosis and ESPs and most of these gurus try these tricks, you see, like they just make you hypnotized and people become absolutely mad over the guru. Oh, he's our guru, and they behave just like absolutely people without any brains. So I feel nice with it. The reason is that you feel there's a sort of a sense of security built in this gentleman, and if I'm following him, see, he's going to heaven and I'm going with him to heaven. It doesn't happen like that. You have to individually go into heaven yourself, and you have to become your own guru, and you have to know everything about it. It's not that anybody can put a trailer behind and put some people into it and say, now come along, I'm going to heaven. Most of these people are really going to hell, and you will follow them very fast. So it is never so, believe me, that anybody who says that following a certain guru will go to heaven is absolutely wrong. You must follow in the principle, and every guru who is a real guru will always tell you that you have to become something. He will never just say, all right, you've given me the money, all right, you are the member, now you are my child, now you are my disciple, and I give you my love, let's have love. Where is the love? And give more money, give me Rolls Royces, give me this, give me that, And like mad, we are doing it thinking that we can exchange this. Now, as we are seekers, we have every right to find our spirits. And we are not to be deluded by any such tricks and pranks of these people, or I would say very sinister methods that they are employing. Not only to deceive you for money. I don't mind there are smugglers, let them have money what they want to have, but they spoil your chances of realization which you do not realize. And once they are spoiled, it's very difficult to give a realization. And if you do not really positively work it out, it's going to be impossible situation. I've seen people who have suffered on account of this. Now this action within us acts for our mental and physical capacities on the right hand side. Like we think of the future. Now we're planning, we start. It's planning. Now we must do this tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We have to do it and we start sitting. Now I'll go there and I'll find this and then I'll take a ticket and then I'll go there. I mean, our mind is working for the future. So much so we become absolutely futuristic. To such an extent sometimes I've met people who are futuristic, they even forget their own names. Can you believe it? I mean, they don't even remember their father's name, that's all right, but even their own names they forget. I mean, they are like mad because they don't remember their own names and they don't know where are they, what are they doing. I have met people of that kind who are really sick people because they have become so futuristic now that they do not know anything about their past. Now, this futuristic behavior starts in a society where people always think of the future. What will I do? What am I to do tomorrow? What am I to achieve tomorrow? And all these things when they start doing, their attention goes to the right extreme. Now in this place, we are very dangerously placed when we start looking for the future. And the future seeing is a imaginary stuff, is absolutely imaginary. Because what you think of the future doesn't exist. What exists is the present. You have to be in the present, not in the future. But people will say you have to be in the present. But how? We cannot. Either we are in the past or in the future. Because when the thought wave rises, it comes up and goes down. Another thought wave rises, goes up and comes down. Now, this thought wave which comes up, we go with it, but we don't see it's going down. Another thought wave that rises, we see that, but we don't see where it goes out. And so we are jumping on the cusp of these thoughts and we do not know. Perhaps we are in the past or perhaps in the future. But in the center of these two thoughts, there is the present. And we don't know how to take our attention there, which is a very difficult thing. And just to say that you should be in the center is not possible. All these things, you should do this, you should do that, is not going to work out. Unless and until there is light. For example, there is no light in this room. And you say, walk straight. You cannot walk because you can't see where is the passage, how to walk. Even if you order, do whatever you please, you cannot just walk straight without touching any of these chairs because there is no light, you can't see. So one has to understand that in the futuristic life when we live, when we plan too much for the future, actually what we are doing, we are living in an imaginary world. We have many stories of people who lived in imaginary worlds and how they found that everything was destroyed. And there are people who work it out through their physical efforts, and when they go into their physical efforts, they create another problem for them because they just become physically oriented people. And if you are just physically oriented, the spirit gets angry. So the right side movement is for the people who are very meticulous, you see what you call the people who are very particular about the time, and who are very firm about things, who are very dry people, and who are very straight and they won't tolerate any nonsense, that sort of people you see that you find normally, and that sort of people become a headache and they are very boring. You can't just bear their company, they can be very boring people. And they give you big lectures about how to be straightforward and how to walk straight, absolutely. In the nature, nothing is straight. It all moves so beautifully because the nature is created out of varieties. And variety brings the beauty. They don't think of beauty, they don't think of love or compassion, nothing. For them it is a very meticulous world, and that's how they live. Such people are developing a big ego within themselves, as you see there in the yellow stuff in the head called as ego. Let me show. Right. By the action of the left side, emotional side, we develop a superego, but by the action of the right side, we develop an ego. Now this ego is not easy to be seen, because if you have a superego, you have pains in the body, you are a miserable person, you have wrinkles on the face, and you look absolutely worn out. But if you have ego, then you look so dynamic. We can say that Hitler was the extreme of this ego business. And he got into his head that he is some sort of a God incarnation, and that he has to save the people, and he was the one who knows about races and everything, and he is supposed to save some race. This kind of idea comes from these people who are right-sided. They are very aggressive. They may be very good to talk to, they may be very humble to look at, could be very good businessmen, could be anything, but they do not know that they have this Mr. Ego coming up on their heads just like a big balloon, and they are floating in the air. The end of ego is stupidity. You'll be surprised. The end of ego is stupidity. Such people indulge into all kinds of stupid things, and they say, what's wrong? For example, I've known old people behaving in so stupid ways, and they say, what's wrong? You know, an old man, say, of 90 years, who can't even walk without a stake, stakes to these dances you do, and then he falls down, you see, and he thinks, what's wrong? Like a lady I knew, she was about 85, she died from a horse falling down. Naturally, what else do you expect at 85? That's what is evident. For a lady of 85, she should settle down at home, look after her grandchildren. Maybe she might be having great-grandchildren, you see. Instead of that, why does she want to be 25-year-old lady to climb on a horse? So all such stupid things they do, and then they will say, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong in stupidity, what's wrong? But such people are a nuisance to the society, to others. The people who are superego are troublesome to themselves, but those are egoistical are troublesome to others. They are all the time correcting others, torturing others, putting their ideas onto other people, and such people can be very, very successful, because nothing succeeds like success. They go on hammering things into the heads of people, saying, now this is true, and when you go on saying it, you should suddenly believe, yes, must be so. And such people are much more dangerous, I would say, from the superego type. But for people who do not know the tricks of the superego, they can be very, very, very dangerous, because they are very subtle. You cannot see them. They mesmerize, and they can possess you, and they can be very sly, and they can work out all sorts of methods which you are not aware of. So it is not easy to choose which is better, which is not better. Both things are wrong, to go to extremes on the right or to the